Batman, on a level, you could be the greatest individual in football history.
We are back with another video, and today I'm joined by Ty. I'm joined by Biz. What are you two saying?
Good, bro. Like, do you know what? I was wounded on Sunday with Biz, but you know what? I've seen the light, man. We've got 9 games in October. Tony's back with a little cameo. Let's get winning some games again, man. Like, it's Man City. We're never gonna beat them anyway, even if they play to their best than we did.
Oh,
so yeah, man.
That's so bad, bro.
I'm surprised you don't have the black gloves on.
That's so bad, man.
Nah, Biz, I gotta be real. Like, we just didn't turn up. I'm not saying that. Do you know what? Gary Neville, I don't agree with a lot of what he said, but he even said, like, this ain't Man United last year where you go there and you know that, like, this is bad. I feel like we went there, the players didn't show it, but, like, I know we're better than that. So that's what I'm like, you know, we've got a manager that's better than that. The players are better than that. They've just got to show me now that they're better than that.
There's no excuse, man. Just go there and concede 6 goals, bro. You know what I'm saying, bro? Palace went there, cool. Palace conceded 4, but Palace made it hard for them. Newcastle gave them the game of their life the other week. You get me? They were lucky to get away out of St. James's Park with a point. How come we can't make it easy for them? How can we make it easy for them? We can't even compete.
City also turned it up a different game in the first half as well, compared to what they have done in previous games. Because that's the best game Haaland's had in terms of overall performance as well, for example.
I hear that, bro, but we just made it so easy for them. There was a point in the first half, I watched Nathan Ake just bring the ball out to the halfway line without anybody even taking any responsibility. It's embarrassing, bro. It keeps happening over and over again and conceding 6. Bro, it's getting to a point now where we're just like accepting it. It's like, as normal. Conceding 6 against City. When we were at our best and they came we went to them at Main Road for the first time in like 5-6 years, we were European champions and only scraped a 1-0 win. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the difference. We're just fucking getting bitched off. In 40 minutes, we're 4-0 down. This is my first stream, bruv. I'm pissed, bruv. I'm not going to lie to you. This is the first stream I've done since the game, yeah. Unacceptable, man. And the worst thing is, it's happening in all areas at Manchester United. Under 18s, we're getting slapped up. Under 23s, the women's are getting slapped up. Now the first team, consistently. 4-1 last time, 6-3. Come on, man. Bruv, if I was Ten Hag, bruv, you see that after that 4th goal went in, I'd have lined up 5 man. I said, get off the pitch, bruv. Take off the top. Go straight back on the coach. Don't even go back in the changing rooms. You're embarrassing me. After I've left my good job at Ajax to come here and get embarrassed 2 times already this season. Come on, man. It's a disgrace, man.
I respect it. I know. Yeah, you know, I like to see this side of Biz. I like to see, this is the Biz I like to see. That's all I can say.
Biz has seen everything in terms of United. Like, his memory, incredible. He's been there for the good. And now we've seen this absolute nonsense kind of thing that we saw the other day.
Yeah, and really, you're not wrong in what you're saying. At the end of the day, like me, where I'm like, oh, we just move on. Like, there are 9 games, but it's like, no, people are just like brushing this one under the carpet quite easy. But we've actually been beaten 6-1 effectively. They let us score 2 at the end, you could say. And we've made the scoreline look better than what it could have been. They could have had 7 or 8. Let's not get it wrong. Like, they scored 6. They could have had 8 or 9. Me and Biz are watching that first half together. And like, they could have just, you know what, Bains, is true in it. They could have scored more. But I don't know. Like, I don't wanna come on here and be like super angry if I'm not. I just feel like I'm angry on the day, but now
I'll be honest, I think Biz sent me a voice message in the group chat the other day, and it's saying, yo, like, United are never going to be good again. And after, what did I say? Like, I'm just used to it now. Like, I'll be honest, like, you know when we conceded, like, we lost 6-3, and, like, you know how you just sometimes feel immune to something?
Yeah.
That's the worst thing now.
Like, you know when, like, for example, the 5th, 6th went in, like, you just laugh. Like,
me and Biz was just like...
It's the maddest thing, though, over this last decade. How many times have we played City and it's got to a point where they just take pity on us, bruv, and just take their foot off the gas and just allow us to just, all right, cool, 4-0 up, bruv, we ain't going to lose. Even last season, the 2-0 at Old Trafford.
That's one of the worst games I felt.
But even the 4-1 was just as bad, bruv. Was it the 88% to 12% possession? Come on, United, man. You're better than that, bruv.
Did you know what as well?
Your heads like that was embarrassing.
Do you not think as well, yeah? Because I was talking on this yesterday. I think maybe when I was doing a show by myself, actually. And I was saying, when you look at Pep as a manager, do you not feel a bit scared? And the only reason I'm a bit scared, right, is that when you look at Tuchel, when Tuchel first came in at Chelsea, I think he was getting the better of Pep, and then Pep now just got the better of Chelsea. Like, they just kept beating them. Like, when we had Oli, and obviously we're beating them with counter-attacking football and stuff like that, I feel like the more we play City now, we're under Pep, the better City are getting against us, and it's now becoming harder and harder to beat us. So I feel like once Pep like masters playing a team, it's long. Like, so even for Ten Hag now,
I hear that, but Ten Hag will also improve with this side kind of thing, innit?
Yeah.
Whereas you could argue Oli was getting Oli was stagnating, so was Thomas Tuchel, and Pep was getting stronger.
I
we
agree.
Still have to get stronger.
I agree, but how long do you think? But my question coming off that was going to be: do you think Ten Hag can close the gap on them type of games against City next season, or do you think we're going to still see us go 2-3-0 down
next season? Yeah, I'll be very shocked if next season we're going into games losing 4-0 in the first half.
Yeah, so would I.
But that's embarrassing to a different level, kind of thing, isn't it? But anyway, listen, the main topic of the show was meant to be Ronaldo. Ronaldo, listen, a report came out by the Telegraph yesterday saying Ronaldo wants to leave, and I think Ten Hag's now open to it. Something along those lines, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong here. And that's pretty much it. What do you think of that?
I think it's basically like, if the right offer comes in, Ronaldo free to go. I saw Rob Dawson say something like, Ten Hag's still a bit reluctant to let him go because obviously we've still got major competitions, and if he can't find a replacement, which for me, if I throw it out there, I think it would be Ronaldo goes and Cody Gakpo comes in because he can play left wing and he's more like Rashford, a bit more explosive, but he can also play up front. And we said that already: Sancho and Antony on the right, Rashford and Gakpo, and then Martial and whoever to compete up front. Even Rashford sometimes, and Gakpo can play left. So I just feel like it's the right decision. Like, let's not hide it. Let's just say it as it is. I feel like Ronaldo's still a player that can offer a good team something across Europe. Maybe not in the Premier League because it's just too quick and sharp shooting for him right now. And he's not first choice at the team for the way Ten Hag wants to play football. So I just don't see what's the point in keeping him there if he wants to go and we're not really going to play him anyway. The only backbone that we have is obviously Europa League. It's like, you know what, you haven't won that before. You're starting for us in Europa League. So we get to a final, you're going to play because you're doing the journey with us. But does Ronaldo want to sit here and be like, yeah, I'm playing for Man United, but I'm not going to play league games. I'm just here to try and win them a Europa League. His mentality is not going to allow that. So I feel like there's too many crossroads for it to sort of continue. And I just think best for both that he goes and enjoys his football while he can at 37 still. And we kind of move on ourselves, because it's not even just Ronaldo, the player, Bains and Biz. For me, it's Ronaldo, what comes in the media. Ronaldo didn't even play in the derby, which we'll touch on later, but he's one of the main headlines because he was an unused sub when we've lost 6-3. Like, that doesn't happen at any other football club. So even little 5%, little 10% things like that are just annoying for us lot because we sit here and have to talk about it. So for me, I hope he gets his move in January.
I think Roy Keane came out and said the other day saying the current Ronaldo situation feels unsustainable. Do you agree with that, Biz?
Yeah, I do, man. I mean, I understand, bro. Like, you know, Ronaldo he is the GOAT, innit? He's always forever going to be it. But this situation should have been sorted out before the season started. I mean, even when he didn't report back to training, I just thought then that was the perfect time for both clubs to just part ways, let Ronaldo go his way. Because I'm sure there would have been an offer that would have come in. That would have suited him. But instead, it's Glazeronomics once again taking over the situation that should have been in the hands of our manager. You know what I mean? If Ten Hag was cool with him to stay, but Ronaldo didn't want to stay, then again, man, it's just a mismatch, innit? So it's just a mad situation, innit? I do feel it for Ronaldo because, like, someone of his level shouldn't be just like expected to just play Europa League games. You know what I mean? Like, he still has a lot to give, but for me, just not in this Man United team right now, especially as we're rebuilding. And yeah, man, I think it's best to just part ways after the World Cup.
I think where I give Ronaldo credit is in terms of, like, he's not really moaning kind of thing right now, innit? I feel like he's kind of accepted that role at Manchester. Yeah. Not accepted it, but you can't really do much. Apparently he's trading well and all of that stuff kind of thing, innit? That's kind of like the bare minimum you ask for a footballer, but I do agree. I do feel like it's unsustainable. Like, it's kind of like what you said the other day, like, Ronaldo coming on makes no difference. We're 4-0 down at half time.
Yeah.
We're not making a comeback. No team's making a comeback against Manchester City. You could have literally brought on the best players in the world and we're still not coming on. Like, you could have had Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, Verratti, all of these are on the bench, and you bring them on, we're not coming back. That game was done at that point. It don't matter. And even then, this is what I said to you yesterday. All we saw from that game in terms of ex-pundits coming out after the game saying Ronaldo should have started, which is results-based analysis. Like, we all agreed in the group chat that Ronaldo shouldn't have started the game before. I even said, even for example, Casemiro, I agreed that McTominay should have started over Casemiro. No one was saying Casemiro has to start before the game.
Nah,
some people
that's
might
a lie. That's a lie. I've seen so many people say 95% of the fan base was calling for Casemiro to start. That's a lie.
Everyone was happy with Scott McTominay kind of thing.
Everyone was.
But now I'm just seeing outrage and people saying, "Yo, Ten Hag got it wrong." I'm just like we were saying the exact same thing. We have asked a manager to play plays on merit. Ten Hag's currently doing that, and people are complaining.
I think all three of us predicted only probably maybe one change. I think I had Fred in. I think Anthony. I think you had Elanga in.
Yeah.
And Ty, I think you had either Martial.
I had Casemiro or Fred. Yeah,
so Casemiro. Okay, so you said Casemiro. So like,
I just go. As I said, go more simple in midfield. But then that would mean Everton or Bruno missing out.
Yeah. So still, like, it's not much that. Do you know what I mean? People are trying to say that he got wrong.
With the Ronaldo thing here, look against Brentford, for example. We lost 4-0. Did Ronaldo really have a sniff? The answer was no. Like, he had a couple, 1 or 2 headers kind of thing, like half chances really, but he didn't have a sniff. It didn't matter. The striker position did not matter. I think it was the exact same thing against Man City. I looked at Rashford. How many times do you actually get Rashford in a good position?
Once, I think. That was it.
Once. Okay, imagine that's Ronaldo.
He looked like, and I'll be honest with you, he also looked like he was playing with a little bit of an injury.
Yeah, let's give Ronaldo the benefit of the doubt. He scores that Rashford chance. Yeah, wow, we lost 6-4, or we lost 6-3, whatever it would have been. Like, it makes no difference on the result. I think, I don't know, man. I don't get why there's an outrage personally.
I just feel like these ex-players, and I said it to you, Bains, yesterday, that these ex-players need to kind of just separate their love for Fergie in the old era and move on to now. I just feel like whatever they feel like they say is a bit gospel. And I think the dangerous thing is for it as well is that obviously we see through the light a bit. We do podcasts. We have our own views, But these men like Roy Keane and that, as much as what they've done for the game and stuff, some things they say might be correct, some things they say might be wrong. But when they're talking about like the Ronaldo situation and they should have started him or whatever it is, or Rio Ferdinand, as much as I love him, was saying stuff yesterday, how can you not bring him on, like, and all that. Do you know how many people watch their shows? So when people are watching their shows, what annoys me in a way is that some people would take that word as gospel. Oh, Rio Ferdinand said it, so it must be true. Or like Roy Keane said it, where it must be true. And that's what I don't like. It kind of feeds people stuff to make them believe it when people should really have their own brains and be looking at the situation and being like, oh no, like the game was done. When you're going to play Man City, you're going to have a mobile forward that can obviously run the channels, can link up play as best as he can, and, you know, getting behind their defense. Ronaldo is like what Daniel Feliciano said, guy on Twitter. He said he's a volume shooter. Like, he needs chances to score goals. Well, against Man City, you're not going to create loads of chances. You need to take your transitional moments because you're going to get 3 or 4 a game. So stylistically, even if Ronaldo was fully fit and whatever, like, I still wouldn't play him anyway. It's just not the type of game for him.
You know what I thought was interesting? And I was very, very surprised with this. I saw an article by, James Zucker guy from Telegraph today. He said Roy Keane is right. The current Ronaldo situation feels unsustainable. But the argument about his perceived inability to press becomes redundant when when you watch the likes of Rashford and Sancho in the derby offering nothing by the way of a press/intensity. I agree with that. Like, my problem isn't Ronaldo pressing in this 10-out system. I've already said that. But currently, Ronaldo don't get into the side because, let's be honest, the other 3 have done relatively well. Yeah. Especially, let's look at Rashford in that striker position, which is what Ronaldo's competing for. He won Player of the Month, Premier League Player of the Month. Mm-hmm. It's unfair to drop it.
Yep, agreed.
As I said, like with the McTominay Casemiro situation, Everton, now that's when you want to see changes.
Yep.
You had a bad result. Let's be honest, all 11 players, if they got dropped, you can't complain. Mm-hmm. It was that bad kind of thing, isn't it? Now you want to see changes, which is going to be interesting to see what Ten Hag does. We'll see it.
Yeah, this is like another roll of the dice for him. That not like he's in jeopardy or nothing, but I mean in terms of having the ability to make changes based off performance, because he did it after the Brentford game, which we were buzzing to see against Liverpool. I think it was on the Monday night after, and he's kept the same team because obviously he's like, okay, I've got a bit more pragmatic. They've won their game. Now let's let them hope and continue, which they did into the international break. But on Sunday, they've done themselves no justice. So for me, I think it's a no-brainer that Sancho comes out for Martial, Rashford moves back to the left, and then I think Casemiro comes in from McTominay, and Shaw comes in from Malacia. They're the three already in my head that I'm like, I want to see happen, if I'm honest.
Thursday is going to be interesting because I was thinking this year. This one is Ronaldo's going to start that.
Yeah.
Martial has to start that as well in my eyes.
And I'm thinking, is he going to play Martial off the left then?
Yeah, but imagine Martial plays off the left and bangs. That's still a very good option to have if it does happen. Like, there's still... It's interesting because if Ronaldo therefore plays, Martial has to play in my eyes because he needs minutes. And then you probably go with... Who on the right? What, Elanga?
Yeah, you might, you might. Yeah, you might.
That's actually not a bad balance front three. You got the runner, you got Martial, ball retention, you got Ronaldo.
Yeah, I hear that.
In terms of profiles kind of thing, innit? It'll be interesting to see what he does. And obviously Casemiro has to come in as well. And
I think that's the interesting part about it, because we play Thursday and then we play Sunday. He can't give all the players that he's looking at playing on the Everton game 90 minutes. So say if Martial starts or Ronaldo starts and one of them comes off after 60 minutes, I'll be thinking in my head, you're starting on Sunday, because that's why he's consuming it. Like Casemiro will play on Thursday, take him off after 60 minutes in the bank, and I'll be like, you're starting on Thursday. So I do think this is a perfect time for Ten Hag to give players a chance, but also a chance for the players to now state their claim for the first 11. It's mad though, because obviously it's only one result in it, which is a bad result, of course. It's our Manchester City, it's our rivals and stuff like that. But the position we're in right now of Manchester United, because we're not like overly consistent we've just got a new manager in, no one's locked in, like no one's guaranteed. So like every player, but other than Martinez really, but like everyone else should be like itching at the bit to get a minute or get a game time to show what they can do, because I don't think Ten Hag has any favourites. He's just like, I'll play the players that are best in the form and I'll play the players that are best in the position.
Do you think we're going to see any youngers get any chances on Thursday now?
I was thinking this. You think we might see Palestra off the bench? Because Palestra was on the bench the other day, which
he was on the bench, wasn't he? Yeah, he was on the bench.
If we're winning, I think he might get 20 minutes, I'm
not sure what's happening with Garnacho.
He's playing today against, I think they're playing Barrow.
Okay, now the FA Trophy.
Yeah, actually, I think Palestra's starting in that as well.
Okay. What about Zidane, man? Zidane's like...
Yeah, but the problem is, say Donny van der Beek's back, which I hope he's back on Thursday, because let's be honest, like I just need to see Donny van der Beek to judge him.
I think it's time for him to at least get a good run in the side, at least.
Because I just want to see how Donny van der Beek does, and it'll be interesting to see, like, does he perform? Because a lot of people are unhappy with Bruno, rightly so in my eyes. A lot of people are unhappy with Eriksen, but let's be honest, Eriksen is his signing, so he's probably more guaranteed to start. Does he potentially bring in the Casemiro, Eriksen, Donny van der Beek midfield, or do we see that anytime soon?
It's so hard because we're not. It's so hard to bring in someone like Van der Beek, and the only reason I say it is because obviously we've had a year and a half of him, and he's not quite worked out. Even though he's still a very good player, technical player, I think when you're Man United and where we are right now, where we're competing, we're not like top of the league with 4 points clear. We're like 5th, 6th, 7th. We're battling for top 4. Every win, every point is vital right now. Come the end of the season, I don't feel like we're in the position to say, right, Van der Beek, go and start a game. I think Van der Beek, unfortunately for him, stylistically, he has to start games. I think it's like a bit like Sancho. I feel like they feel their way into the game by starting and then they would come off. I don't think you can bring on Sancho and Van der Beek and they kind of change the game. So
I think Van der Beek can though.
He can a bit with his maybe off the ball runs and stuff a little bit, but I feel like you'd want him in from the start. And I just feel like because the position we're in, every point matters right now. And also match fitness, he's got to then get his fitness back up. I think it's hard for him to do that. But obviously we've got 9 games right now in October, including obviously the Europa League. Then I think we've got Carabao Cup at the end of the month, or whatever, the start of November. There is going to be opportunities to get minutes. And I think one thing that stands out to me is obviously we've got Casemiro, say Eriksen and Bruno. Then your midfield options after that are McTominay and Fred, and then Van der Beek. Van der Beek out of them lot is definitely more technical. So there's an opportunity for him to get minutes, especially in one of the advanced 8 roles, I think. He has to. I saw a report today that he could leave in January. Or like, I'm not saying it's true, but I just saw a lazy report that, he's free to leave. I don't believe that, though.
Like, why are we acting like we've seen Donny van der Beek on the 10 hour like that? He's been injured. I think even before the first Real Sociedad game, he was injured. So we haven't been able to see him in Europa League, which is why I'm like, I'm holding my judgment on Donny van der Beek. Of course, I worry about Donny van der Beek stylistically in this team. I'm just like, before people talk about selling him, let me just see him kind of thing. Biz, I want to come to you. Saw a report, it was funny enough, by James Ducker the other day as well, in terms of Ten Hag has told United's hierarchy not to dish out any new contracts until he's determined who warrants them. What do you think about that?
Yeah, man, that is something that definitely needs to be taken on board, because do you know how many times have we made the mistake on seeing a player that has a short burst of form and they're looking a bit green, and then all of a sudden we give them a contract and they just die on us. Do you know what I mean? I even heard something stupid like Maguire's 7-year contract. Like, nah, that can't happen. You know what I mean? We need to just slow down, kick back, and just leave it to I don't know how long contract situations take, but I would leave it until next year after the World Cup. You have a good 3-4 months to see if these players have really got it in them, and then you make the decision.
Because I think with someone like Dalot, we have an option for another year, innit? Because I think his contract finishes at the end of this season.
So January, start talking to clubs.
But I'm guessing we're going to extend it by another year, which United always do, kind of thing, innit?
Definitely extend it.
So we basically have 18 months. I think towards between next season, from the start of the season, around that December period, before we hit January, is when you give the new contract in my eyes.
100%. I think what you're talking like from the end of December 2023, yeah? Yeah, I agree. I think that's a year and a half. You've seen enough of people. You've seen a full preseason again. You've seen people's attitudes. You know their persona. And also, as a football club, when it gets to that crunch period in December, we'll know where we are in the league. And obviously, if you're not near the top 4 and players are not cutting it, you might be able to know more. What are you going to say, Biz?
Do you know what? I think it's a bit harsh here, because you see the World Cup starts end of November and finishes more or less end of December. I think it finishes like a couple of days before Christmas Eve. Like, is January even... Like, it's not really long enough now, and it's not really enough games to really make your decision.
About next year.
Not about next year.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because we got the options for another year, kind of thing, innit?
Yeah. So like, we're saying for like another year.
I even think the transfer window should be moved to probably February, just for the fact that man need to just see a little bit more of these players, because it's only another 9 more games until the World Cup. And then
but the fact is, we would have seen 19 Premier League games, which is about the same what we would have seen in it, because just the games were so quick. So
is it going to be 19?
Yeah, we would have played.
We won't be on that. By the time the World Cup is that? I mean, let me check.
I think we would have been done.
Played so far.
We must have been close to around that 17, 18, 19.
Yeah, you know what? It should.
By the time we go to the World Cup, it will be game week. So game week 16 is the one before the World Cup.
Yeah.
So 16 Premier League games.
It should be 18, 19, because obviously the 2 games have got postponed.
And we would have had the entire group stages in the Europa League like normal.
Are you watching?
Nah, I ain't watching it.
Leroy Sané, man. Oh my God.
Calm. Yeah, but we would have had like a good tally kind of thing, innit? I think it's interesting.
But then again, when you look at players that could have been injured, like you say, the Van der Beeks and Martials, for example, the sample size is quite small if they keep getting recurring little injuries. I agree with you, Bains. I think December 2023, then Ten Hag's had him for a year and a half. Because don't forget, he came in June. It's not like he got signed in August and he was a last-minute manager. He came in with plans and preparations. A year and a half to know a quality of a player. I'll be honest, Bains, Biz. I think if Osman won Carrington training ground for a month, we know who we like and who we don't. So,
and I'll be honest, like with like, for example, like you said, the injury thing, you have a year and a half to sort it out.
Yeah.
Like of course, like you can be very, very unlucky with injury sometimes, and say, like I don't think we have like a player with Neymar's quality in terms of, you know how Neymar has a bad injury record to an extent, but his Neymar, so you're giving the benefit of that because you know the 15, 20 league games you get are elite. We don't have anyone like that. If you're injured, tough luck. Of course, like it's sad kind of thing, but it's just football. You're gonna have to move on. Because we can't rely on you. You're not that good that we wait for you.
And also, I think if we get to a year and a half now and there's players, just for example, I'll throw Martial out there. Martial's been on and off since Ten Hag's come in.
Martial's contract finish this year?
Nah, next year. 2024.
And then we have another option for another year.
Yeah. So he's got 2024. So if he has another 2023 where it's injuries, and we're missing more games than we actually have him, he'll be one of them ones that would leave probably for me more than likely the summer after. Stylistically wise, if he stays fit, he'll be one of the most important. But that's the two coins with someone like Martial. If he stays fit, he's one of the top 5-6 players for Ten Hag. If he's injured, then unfortunately on the wages he's on and the age is 27 next year or 27 in December, you've got to start looking at, shit, do we cash in 27, 28 years of age? So it's players like him that have sort of the pressure of like, do they need to like deliver consistently? Do you know what I mean? On an injury front.
But I think where, for example, people might argue is, say you wait that long, no matter what, even though you can officially start negotiating in January, players are already going to have contact with other clubs, innit? Or agents are already going to have contact with other clubs.
Yeah.
Like, look at, for example, Rashford and PSG. What about playing devil's advocate? We wait too long. Rashford starts performing. He has a better offer from PSG. What do United do then? Because then United look very stupid.
But then if he's I'd say, I see what Biz says after, but I'd say no, we don't look stupid. And the only reason I say that is because I think if there's a clear outline, there's a clear framework, then it's different. So say, for example, right now, they've said that the hierarchy are not handing out contracts, which I think is the right thing to do. If they say, right, that's what their plan is, and Ten Hag goes to these players and says, don't worry about your contract situations, focus on your football, play your football, and if you play well, you will get a new contract. The message is clear. So if Rashford is playing well, he's going to then expect contact from Manchester United about a new contract. If he's not playing well, then that's all it is. So I don't think it'll be a case for me of, because PSG spoke to us 3 months later, they're showing that they're engaged or they're... No, the plan was clear. You're a Man United player. If you play well, we'll offer you a contract no matter when the time is. So if you play well, it comes. But I don't think you should be guaranteed anything, Bains, just because it's like, you can speak to other clubs.
I'm not saying we should, like, the player should be guaranteed anything, but then would you not argue then this feels like this kind of feels like scholarships kind of thing, isn't it? Like you kind of have to wait until the end of the regime to see if you kind of got it kind of thing. How would players who, let's be honest, they're going to have offers from other clubs, they're going to have massive signing on fees as well, would that idea not look better than maybe United giving a contract so late?
Yeah, I agree because like you can't just get swindled by a team coming in for a player, if you know what I mean. You can't that can't make your judgment on a player just because another team's gonna come in for him, and it's a team of high value. So no, I agree with that. But what area do you think Van Ten Hag, if he does get the opportunity in January to recruit, like what area do you think he's gonna try and...
To be honest, I think if Ronaldo leaves, then there's one signing. I doubt we sign anyone.
Really?
I think maybe Cody Gakpo, maybe that's pushing it. Because January market after the World Cup, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I actually think only Cody Gakpo if Ronaldo leaves. And also with the Cody Gakpo situation as well, they didn't qualify for Europe either, did they? They got knocked out by Rangers.
They're in the Europa League though. In Arsenal's group.
Oh, so they're in the Conference League. Okay, so if they struggle to get through that and then they're not even in that anymore, then that's...
No, they're in the Europa League.
They're in Europa League.
They're in Arsenal's group, remember? Arsenal people.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, so they got knocked out of the Champions League group by Monaco. Who is it?
Monaco, I think, yeah.
Monaco, yeah.
Rangers.
It was Rangers when I said it. It was Rangers, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, I remember because I think they had 2 games in it. Because remember, it was a Rabiot game first.
That's it. They played Monaco.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, so I thought it was Rangers. Yeah. So, like, if they're out of that, which hopefully it should go through for their side of it with Arsenal, but if they're out of that, then that gives them more of an inclination to sell. The only thing that worries me about Cody Gakpo, which happens so much, and Bizzy's probably seen it more years than us, Bains, that he's an okay player. Don't get me wrong. I like his profile in terms of if he's 6'2", he's quite attacking, he scores goals and stuff like that, and we need a volume goal scorer because we've got a lot of creators in terms of like Sancho and Anthony. But he'd probably go and have an all right World Cup, and all of a sudden we're getting bumped again. Like, I'm ready for it. 60 million, Cody Gakpo if he has an all right World Cup. I'm ready.
How many goal contributions he has this season?
I don't know. I haven't looked, to be fair.
8 starts in the league, 8 goals, 6 assists.
That's mental.
14 goal contributions in 8 games. Your stocks are high right now. And let's be honest, last international break for Holland, I watched a couple of the games and stuff. He looked good.
Did he actually look good?
Yeah, like he actually looked good, kind of thing, innit? And he was playing a bit more centrally as well, which was interesting. So I'm like, we're in a sticky situation now. It ain't 25, 30 million we're talking, especially in the January transfer market. I think the value's never there, January transfer market, most of the time, innit?
But how long has he got left in his deal, Bains, currently at PSV?
Ooh, not too sure.
Because that will play a part in it. If he hasn't signed a new deal, then obviously we could be looking at getting him for 30, 35. But I'm telling you now, 2026.
Yeah.
Oh, see, honestly, if he has an all right World Cup, it's 60 million upwards. They're going to watch what Ajax have just done to us for Anthony.
Mm.
And in their heads, they might value Gakpo better because they'll say, look, he's got more assists,
at the numbers,
he's got more goals. Look at the numbers. Like a lot of people look at numbers now. They say, look at the numbers for a wide man. You're paying 100 million for Anthony. Well, Gakpo to us is a 70, 80 million pound player. I'm not going to charge us 100 because they can't, based off the valuation in the summer, and all of a sudden skip it all the way to 100. But there's small little things that Man United, it's like, if you want Gakpo, you maybe want him to have a bit of a shit World Cup, to be honest.
But the thing is Anthony's profile in terms of a left-footed winger was probably harder to obtain. But look at this. How many goals did Anthony score last year in the league?
I'm going to guess 9.
He scored 8.
Oh, okay.
So Cody Gakpo's already got the same this season in 8 games. How many assists did Anthony get last season?
I think he
double figures, like 11 or 12 or something like that.
He got 4.
Whoa!
And Gakpo's got 6 already.
Wow.
So if I'm a club, you better pay me good money right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I always say reputation in the transfer market is massive. Because now, listen, they have every single right to ask for an extortionate price.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we're going to get dragged into it again unless we look at alternative options. That's why I don't know, man. It's going to be so interesting to see. I do like the concept that Ten Hag has got, though. Like, I feel like finally the club is moving normal. I shouldn't even be sitting here praising, saying, "Oh, Ten Hag's doing good because he's not handing out contracts like that." But it just shows how bad the club has been run before. That we would just hand out contracts and players weren't even playing still. Phil Jones is getting numerous contracts, hardly playing any minutes. Do you know what I mean?
That was the worst, though. That was the worst. That's when Ole came in as interim, innit?
I'll be honest, the more I don't blame Ole, I blame Woodward. Because I think, did they not say they'd done that to like keep the club asset kind of thing? And listen, it helps like the club's valuation.
Yeah, it's silly. Whereas now, we just want players at the club that are actually going to play, get them off the wage bill. And Ten Hag's finally come in and probably saw this and thought, we need to move properly. So as much as I'm praising Ten Hag, saying I like the change, this is what we should have been doing for years. This is just this is an example of the parts of the problem we have at our club. Chelsea would not do this. Arsenal would technically not do this, even though I get it. They signed Aubameyang and Sanchez to long deals at the time and whatnot. But Man City would not do this. You know, that's how proper teams run. So finally, we're just seeing something getting put in place. I just feel sorry for Ten Hag. I'd love to know what his day-to-day month is because he's got to juggle teaching the players his football, and then he's also got to change the culture, and he's got to meet with a board and try and change their way of thinking when they've had teachers' pets in for the last few years.
I think he wants it. So.
No, I think he wants it. Yeah. No, I think he's probably enjoying this.
Yeah,
didn't he start? How long has he been at the job for now? Because he came in early, didn't he?
Yeah, he came in 2-3 weeks early, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's 4 months now.
He's been on job since.
I'll be honest. That's one thing I do like about Eric Ten Hag. Like he has a point to prove. Jose has nothing to prove. He's done everything. Van Howard done everything.
Yeah.
This is different. Oli was different kind of thing, but Oli went good enough kind of thing.
This is the first real manager. This is the first real manager though, who still is on the way up himself. He wants to prove to himself and the team that I'm the right manager. And I like that. That's why I like the mentality of Ten Hag and with the players right now, because we haven't got loads of players over 30. We've got a couple of experienced heads, but a lot of them are still in that 22 to 27, 28 bracket. So they've still got room to deliver what they want to in their career. So I think it's a good match, man. I'm excited to see what happens on Thursday. And then Sunday, I'm really looking forward to that on Sunday night. Everton, it's a tricky game. People are not clocking. Unbeaten in 7, best defensive record in the last month. Not saying they're amazing, Everton, but at least they've got a base.
Massively improved Everton.
Yeah.
Massively.
That's completely a different midfield now. It will be.
But I'll be honest, I think everyone's excited for the challenge kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a different sort of game to what we're used to, which is why I'm really looking forward to the Everton game.
What
Anyway,
happens? What happens if we get turned over again? By the way, no one's thought about it.
Life goes on. We prepare for the next game, innit? But I don't know, man. Like, I don't think we get turned over. Like, we might lose, but I'm just going to be interested to see how we try to break down this low block.
Yeah,
because let's be honest, we have been a bit pragmatic at times.
Mm-hmm.
The fullbacks need to be pushing up a lot higher in my eyes, especially with his Everton game. Let's see. Let's see what Ten Hag does as well. But it's a good challenge, isn't it? But let's wrap this up. Make sure you guys like the video, comment your thoughts on the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Trafford Tunnel. The link is in the title.
Yes.
Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, man. Now big up Bains every single time for having me. And Biz, make sure you like in this video, like you take your shoes off when you enter your house. Make sure you subscribe to Trafford Tunnel. Our channel's down there below. Also, our generic football channel is Never a Foul. So make sure you subscribe to both of them. Man United content's obviously Trafford Tunnel, Never a Foul is generic. And yeah, man, big up every single time. It's going to be a busy month. That's what I'm saying. We're going to be streaming, boy.
Yeah, consistently, man.
Anything else you want to say, Biz?
Yeah, man. Just big up yourself, like and subscribe. Obviously, hit us up on all the socials, and don't forget we're on Spotify now as well. So
yeah, man. The Trafford Tunnel on Spotify now, man. So
come on,
yeah.
Listen, make sure you guys like the video, and I'll be back soon.